So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of season 2. Episode 3 already, it's flying by, don't you think? Now if you didn't watch the last episode in Jeddah, go back and watch that one. Max Verstappen won again, shock horror. The McLarens look very strong, we looked okay. P15, P19, both drivers made mistakes at crucial moments. We possibly could have got a little bit more. There was an outside chance of points for Hauger at one point during the race, but we did bring him some sponsorship money, and that's what this first part of the season is all about, getting out of that debt that you can see on the bottom right hand side. If we just have a look at the standings very quickly, Red Bull in the constructors are leading McLaren and Aston Martin, 74 points they are on. And in terms of the drivers, Max Verstappen is leading, 2 wins from 2 at the moment, Piastri P2 and Norris in P3, Sainz in P4. We'll just quickly show you the F2 drivers and constructors and the F3 constructors and drivers. I know some people are interested in that. Tommy Smith has had a very decent start to the season for Rodin Motorsport. No improvements to the car, as you've probably guessed, due to the financial difficulties, but we do head to Melbourne, Australia. 58 laps it always used to be the season opener, sadly not so much nowadays. 1996 the first Grand Prix year, 3 years after I was born. Bit of trivia there for you. Car attributes, top speed is very important, along with high speed cornering. DRS effectiveness also very important. Expected strategy is a one-stop. The possibility of a two-stop is always there. There is sometimes a safety car around here, but it's not exactly a very high chance, 33%. But all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we may as well get straight into it. I'll get through practice and I'll see you in qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. I don't mean to excite anyone, but in Q2, Hauger has just set a fastest middle sector. He went purple in the middle sector. I think he might have been getting a tow from Leclerc. Let's have a look where he ends up here. Hauger goes P5 on the grid. What a lap! That is from Hauger. Fittipaldi didn't go out again. We didn't see the point in burning up another set of tyres for him. He wasn't going to finish any higher. But Hauger has just guaranteed, I think that's our first Q3 appearance of the season. He finished P6 on that run. That's incredible for him. So we'll be back in Q3. Final laps in Q3 then, just finished, and Hauger did only get P9. We tried the old getting a tow once again off of, I believe it was Gasly that we tried getting it off of, but couldn't quite get it. Lawson was in P8. We actually tried to get it off Leclerc, but Leclerc has finished behind us, believe it or not. So maybe Leclerc needed us as much as we needed him. But Q3, as we just come towards the classifieds, we can see that it is going to be Lando Norris on pole position for tomorrow from Piastri in P2. Verstappen's in P5 with Hauger in P9. Let's have a look at the strategy for Sunday. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, these two drivers, it's quite interesting to have because they've both got different strengths, which means both got different strategies once again. P9, Hauger, he's going to start on the soft compounder tyre, then go on to the medium, and then onto the hard compounder tyre. He has got quite a lot of set of softs, but not having those 2 sets of mediums is going to cost him in that respect. So he's going to go soft, medium, hard. Fittipaldi has got 2 sets of mediums, so he can go medium. He's got a little soft stint in the middle and then go to the mediums towards the end. So P9, P14, let's get to 5 red lights.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement.
Well, they're in P7, so not necessarily where they'd like to be. Could be a challenge, all right.
And the time has come. Let's go racing. Get ready for the Australian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we're going to keep an eye on Lando Norris, who got away well on the medium compounder tyre. Piastri, the homeboy, followed him, but Sainz got a decent run into turn 1. We keep an eye. Everybody looks as though they got through rather cleanly, and Hauger did exceptionally well. And one of the Red Bulls has dropped like a stone there. I'm not quite sure what happened to Max Verstappen, but he did seem to brake and were very slow through that first couple of corners. And we've got a Mercedes off on the grass, and that is Valtteri Bottas, and that has caused a big gap between Hauger and the rest of the pack. Hauger chasing after Verstappen. Not words I expected to hear today, but yeah, Bottas, very disappointing from him. He's now dropped back into P8. Hauger's into P7 with Fittipaldi in P16.
See what what happened.
Hauger did start very, very well, but look, we've got to look after these tyres. We've got to make sure the tyres are right, and we've got to think about the long game. And it's got to be said, a double overtake wasn't quite on the cards. He went to defend one and defended neither, but Hauger now has just had to settle in behind the Ferrari of, I believe, that is Charles Leclerc. No, it's not. It's actually Liam Lawson, but he will start getting DRS now, will Hauger, and that will hopefully help him along, especially when he's got Ocon behind him as well. So if he can stick with these two, keeping the DRS, that'll be ideal. Fittipaldi just had to put his foot down a bit to get back in touch with Nico Hulkenberg, but he's managed to do that as well. Hulkenberg on the mediums in front of him, but Hauger now in P9 and looking at the back of Valtteri Bottas. Hauger has just had a very, very bad couple of laps. He was fighting Bottas, and then Leclerc just managed to seize the opportunity. It's got to be said, Bottas is making a lot of errors today, and we seem to have got stuck in the middle of it, and it's dropped us down the pack somewhat. So Bottas, whatever is happening to him, he's not doing well for us. Bottas down in P10, Russell in P11, Hauger now down in P12. So it's been a very, very disappointing few laps for him. Meanwhile, Fittipaldi, loving life behind him. He's now up into P14 as he goes past Yuki Tsunoda up into that. So he's now nearly on the back of his teammate while topping up ERS. Hauger on the other hand just trying to stick with these two Mercedes. Lap 8, Verstappen leads from Norris. Sainz in P3. Stroll has got an issue, I believe he's got, and Gasly's got the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in the Aston Martin. Pierre Gasly, you know we'd love to bring him back to this team at some point. You know my affinity with Pierre Gasly over these F1 Manager series that we've done from F1 Manager 2022, whereas Hauger now in P12, now tagging onto the back of the two Mercs. Hauger's just managed to get Bottas, and it's got to be said, he looked like he was a very, very frustrated man behind the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. He managed to get past him, but sadly, I think as we're going to cut back to the live action now, we can see that Bottas, with that DRS, trying to come back at him. But Hauger, he has got the tyres. He might be able to push on. You can see Ocon and Russell in front of him. We might actually consider pushing him on and trying to catch up to him. We are going to be pitting in a few laps' time, so we don't want to burn the tyres out just yet. Hauger doing a good job. Fittipaldi, loving life at the moment in P14, looking after the tyres, charging up his battery. It's good. It's a good place to be, Enzo Fittipaldi, at the moment. We've got a few cars into the pits, and Hauger is one of them. In lap 16, he's on to a set of medium compounded tyres. Is he going to get away? He gets held slightly behind the Mercedes, but he's into the pits and out again. Fittipaldi, it must be said, they were working together a little bit in tandem. There were Hauger and Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi, I fancy he's going to do very, very well in this race. It must be said, Hauger now in P19 comes out. He's behind George Russell. Hopefully he can try and catch up with him a little bit. He can push a little bit on these tyres on the outlap and push on the fuel as well. Try to get back up to the back of George Russell, but he's under attack straight away from the Alpine. The Alpine got such a better run on him there on the soft compounded tyre. Let's just have a little look once the race engineer gets out of the way, because that is so disappointing. Couldn't quite get the tyres up to temperature. 43 laps to go, and he's still talking, so we can't see the screen. But very disappointing for Hauger at the moment now. P20, he'll be disappointed to lose that to Perez, but he's only half a second behind. So hopefully the DRS now, as he gets these tyres up to temperature, will help him. Fittipaldi should be coming in around 5 laps time, but he's looking after these tyres beautifully. My word, there's pit stops happening everywhere at the minute, and Hauger has just set the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and it's got him in the DRS of George Russell, which is really helping him along. Fittipaldi, on the other hand, he's got Stroll and Piastri behind him, but he's doing a beautiful job as well. Get very excited, ladies and gentlemen. Could this possibly be the first points of the season for us today? Hauger's now just getting his tyres back in check, whereas Fittipaldi is just nursing these tyres for the soft compound stint, what he's going to be coming on to very shortly. We've got a few cars that have pit, but Sainz is leading at the moment, yet to pit. Norris in P2, Gasly in P3, then comes Leclerc and Lawson. Lawson has pits already. Lawson's having a very good race. Verstappen in P6, he's already pits as well. Fittipaldi will be pitting soon. Fittipaldi is in from P9. Bottas and Hauger going at it. We'll just watch this replay as he comes into the pit lane. So Bottas, remember, was in front of us for a little while. He's just managed to get past, DRS enabled, and then got the move done into the right-hander. But we're not too concerned about that. We'll get a double helping of DRS, one would presume, down the start-finish straight. We'll just check back in on that, actually, because Hauger is getting that at the moment. But Fittipaldi is in. Is it going to be a decent stop? He don't look a bad one. 2.6 seconds Fittipaldi will take that all day long, and Hauger is really tagging onto the back of these sort of bottom points paying positions at the minute, as he's now looks like he's just got overtaken by he's just behind Bottas, and this has pulled him up to the back of George Russell. There's things happening everywhere here at the Albert Park circuit, but this is looking really decent. Hauger P11 at the moment now, behind Russell and Bottas. This is a fight for P9 on track. Fittipaldi's out on circuit, and he's now under attack from Zhou Guanyu, but he's on the soft compound tyre. We expect a decent stint here from Fittipaldi. Fittipaldi had to start making moves on these soft compound tyres, and start making moves he did. He's now up, I believe, into P17, DRS enabled. He's now got in a bit of clean air, which he can use these soft compound tyres. He's into P17, 83% tyres, and now looking to push on and really utilise these, strike while the iron is up. Meanwhile, Hauger once again holding on to the back of the Mercedes just about, and these two fighting in front is helping him all day long because they're slowing each other up, and it's allowing Hauger to just about stick with them. He's got the worst tyres of these guys. He's onto the hards towards the end, but he'll take this all day long. Lap 25, halfway. Norris just coming in for a pit stop, possibly trying a one-stop. Sainz is now in the lead. Verstappen in P2. It's Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. Fittipaldi has just lost 3 positions, and we're now just about to find out why. Because he loses this position into turn 1, then gets on the grass, stays on the grass. That is very, very, very poor driving from Enzo Fittipaldi. And you know, in a race where this could have been his race, that is a shocking, shocking bit of driving. Especially when he's got better tyres than everyone around him. He needs to be doing better than that. Very disappointing. Meanwhile, focus switches back to Hauger, who's still in the DRS. Now it's a Ocon. But this little gaggle of cars is going to be very interesting to see who comes out on top towards the end. Just over halfway in this Grand Prix, and we're going to have a full rundown as Alexander Albon sets the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Sainz from Verstappen. Verstappen's now dropped back 2.7 seconds from his teammate. Stroll is in P3. Stroll on for a podium in the Aston Martin. Lawson in P4. Gasly P5. Norris in P6. Then comes Piastri, Ocon, Bottas and Russell. Fittipaldi's lost 2 positions. Has he done the same thing again? Let's have a look what's happened here. Enzo Fittipaldi, what has he done here? He's done exactly, I mean, come on, man. Enzo Fittipaldi. Liam Lawson must be dreaming. Enzo Fittipaldi losing 2 positions again. When he gets overtaken rather badly. And it's got to be said, he's not used these soft compound tyres as we would have hoped at this moment. P19 at the moment for Fittipaldi. Meanwhile, Hauger in P11 doing the business. And now it's Hauger's turn to lose 2 positions. Let's have a little look at what happens here. I bet this is going to be the same as what Fittipaldi did. He just cuts the corner. What on earth have we been doing in the simulators down at Norfolk? Have we got like an old track on at this moment in time? Because Hauger loses 2 positions. Very disappointing from him. He's going to be coming in a couple of laps time. He's been doing okay, but he's also lost the DRS. We're going to have to give him the ERS to try and get back in it. But he's struggling to keep track now. To be fair, he's up against 2 Mercedes and a Ferrari, but so disappointing. Fittipaldi's just looking to save a little bit of fuel now during this stint and utilise having Tsunoda in front of him. Hauger is into the pits. The tyres were dead and buried, and we recognised it and needed to get him into the pits. Fittipaldi's having a battle of his own. He's going to be coming in very, very shortly. It's decent from Hauger. 2.5 second stop. We are going to have to get Fittipaldi in as well, possibly on this lap. In fact, we're going to get him in now, Fittipaldi. He's going to come in this lap now. Where is Hauger going to come out? I'd expect him to come out near his teammate, possibly. In fact, he's done a lot better than that. He's now out into P16, Hauger. He's got the hard compound tyres until the end of this Grand Prix. Let's see what he can do. Fittipaldi is in to the pits. We're going to switch to the hard compounded tyre. We reckon that's the better one now. He's not quite made these softs last, or these softs work as we thought he would do. Into the pits he comes for the hard compounded tyre. 2.8 second stop. Pit stops completed. No errors once again. Very, very decent indeed. Hauger now P14, 1.8 seconds behind Bottas. Fittipaldi just coming out of the pits. Who is that behind him? It's Logan Sargent, but that'll do him very, very nicely indeed. Verstappen's just had a little lock-up. Let's have a look at this. It's been an enthralling Grand Prix here at the Albert Park circuit. Max Verstappen running in P2 at this moment, and he's very, very lucky there not to collide with the wall. Decent control that from Max Verstappen. So let's have a look at the situation with Hauger now in front of him. He's got 1, 2, 3 cars that are possibly ready to pit. He's now really pushing on these hard compound tyres, trying to get back up to Bottas and getting the DRS as well. Very, very important. Fittipaldi now has been conserving the fuel a little bit. He should conserve the fuel by the end, but Fittipaldi now 1.3 seconds behind Sargent. A couple of cars to pit again. He's doing okay. And we do have a safety car deployed. Bottas and Hauger carry on. And it might be Fittipaldi. Albon looks like he's out. Zhou is out as well. We've got a couple of cars in front of us, I believe, who are out there. Let's have a little look what happens here. Zhou Guan Yu and Alexander Albon. What's going to happen here? Is it going to be a rather bad collision? Oh, one goes spinning off. And that is an incredible crash. Very, very unfortunate from the Toyota Haas. And now we'll see what we do under this safety car. And it's no longer a safety car. It is a red flag. Red flag on circuit. And now we've got some big decisions to make. We get another view of this crash, which caused this safety car. It caused this red flag. But my word, this brings into play Fittipaldi's mediums, but also Hauger might have to stay on the hards.
A sense of deja vu here as the drivers once again face the countdown. Lights out
and away we go. And Fittipaldi's probably the one that's benefited from this the most, because he's now got the medium compounded tyres. We've got a lot of people on softs. I don't think the softs are going to get to the end, and if they do, it's going to be very, very difficult for them towards the end. So Hauger's had to stay on the hards. We've got a couple of people that's had to do that, but Fittipaldi in P20 could really make some moves here. The soft compound tyre runners around him are going to die towards the end. I think he's on the correct tyre. Hauger, on the other hand, has got a lot of work to do here, but points are certainly on the cards today. Fittipaldi's just lost a bit of time there, as has Hauger. But Hauger, P13, what can he do? Are points on the cards? Let me know down in the comments. But Sainz leads at the moment from Gasly in P2, Verstappen P3. Hauger is going backwards rather than forwards at this moment, but this might come to him towards the end of the Grand Prix. The softs are not going to go all that way, and if they are going to be cooked towards the end. Vesti does very well in that kick Sauber, but Fittipaldi's the man to watch at this moment in time. P18, but moving forwards quickly on that medium compound tyre. He's going to be incredibly strong towards the end. Lap 42, Verstappen now leads from Sainz, and they're battling the two Red Bulls. After this red flag, Sainz is going to be very, very upset because he got this one at a canter. But Leclerc's in P5, Piastri P6, Ocon in P8 at the minute in the Williams, Lawson P9, Bottas P10, Hauger long way back. Fittipaldi is on an absolute charge. He's just managed to get past Checo Perez, and as you can see in front now, he's got his teammate Hauger in front of him. Hauger's going to be told to basically let him pass, because Fittipaldi has got the best chance of A, overtaking, and B, dragging him up to the cars in front towards the end. Fittipaldi on a flyer at the minute, where he's got two cars behind him looking to attack. This is going from absolute bad to worse here, because Fittipaldi, who have got the tyres to really make a difference, and you know the old losing two positions trick where he seems to like to do? It's just happened again. He's just lost two positions to an Alpine and a Kick Sauber on much worse tyres than him. And my word, he's got to be doing better than that. You can see this is the battle now for P15. Hauger is just gained a position. Their tyres are going to be better than these soft compound towards the end. But my word, I expected so much more from Fittipaldi. He's got an extra helping of DRS here. This might help him try and actually finally pull away from Perez. But my word, has it been difficult. And Hauger now again trying to push up and also catch up as well. So we're going to push on with both cars now, see if we can improve. Sainz is leading once again from Norris now. Gasly in P4, Gasly in P3, Leclerc P4, and Verstappen in P5. Hauger managed to get Vesti as we saw, but can Fittipaldi break this DRS? It's just constant changing of positions at the moment. It's Fittipaldi, it's Hauger, it's Perez. They're all at it at this minute. And let's have a little look again, because Perez goes for the move down the inside, gets the job done. Maybe that is driver over car, because I believe we've got a bit of a better car than them today. But Fittipaldi once again fighting with Perez. Hauger's down in P18. Porsche's tyres have got to die in a second. Hulkenberg's very much the same, but Fittipaldi at this moment in time can't seem to drop him, and now Perez is looking the strongest on tyres. Final lap of the Grand Prix, and we have got all sorts to watch at this moment in time because Lando Norris is now leading from Pierre Gasly, but he has got DRS. This is actually a three-way fight for the lead. Meanwhile, Fittipaldi has managed to get past Checo Perez as he's just coming round to start his final lap, and Hauger also is going to get DRS on them as well, so it's going to be a big battle towards the end here. Let's keep his eye on this because Fittipaldi goes defensive from Perez, manages to negotiate that little bit, but now Perez is going to come back at him again. Will Hauger fancy an opportunistic move on the Alpine? It's all happening here on the final lap here at the Albert Park circuit. Now Hauger tries to go around the outside. Perez forces him wide, and Hauger is going to drop to P18. So unfortunate. Perez a little bit too aggressive there. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We are going to deploy ERS and try and get him back in the fight. Fittipaldi in P15 still just about hanging on at this moment in time. Has he got enough to defend from this Alpine? We are going to say to him, you always defend and do not let this Alpine overtake you. He's got peak confidence at the moment. Meanwhile, at the front, Lando Norris is going to win the Grand Prix from Pierre Gasly, but we're going to keep his eye on Enzo Fittipaldi and Checo Perez because Hauger's coming back now as well. He's managed to get past Porsche, or has he, as he gets the inside line, and now Perez is under pressure as well from Hauger. Oh my word, it's all happening here, ladies and gentlemen. Fittipaldi, as he comes around the final corner, his tyres are screaming at him in that Lotus at this moment in time. Could Hauger possibly get Perez down to the line? It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Fittipaldi's going to come home in P15, 16 for Perez and 17 for Hauger. Oh my word, I need a drink after that. Let's get to the podium.
And after the checkered flag has flown, there's Nico Hülkenberg.
A 14th place finish today, no points and lots to think about.
And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
And that's win number 1 of the season. And it's sure to provide them with a real confidence boost.
It certainly is. Lando Norris, top step of the podium. Nice to see Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz on there as well. I'm sure the Australians would have rather it been his teammate Oscar Piastri on the top step of that podium. Great drive from Lando Norris. 25 points for him. First win of the season, as we heard. Gasly gaining 5 positions, Sainz in P3, Leclerc in P4, Piastri the homeboy in P5, Verstappen P6, Russell P7, 8 for Ocon, 9 for Stroll and 10 for Ricciardo, P15 for Fittipaldi and P17 for Dennis Hauger. I'm not too disappointed, but I felt Hauger in particular, maybe on that red flag. If he had a set of medium compound tyres, we possibly could have gone for the softs. Let me know what you think down in the comments. It felt like the hard was the right decision at that moment. Driver standings-wise, Verstappen is leading, but he's level on points with Lando Norris, both on 58 points. Piastri a little bit further back on 43 and Sainz in P4. This could be a really interesting battle between Red Bull and McLaren drivers for both drivers and constructors standings this season. If we go a little bit further down, we can see Hauger and Fittipaldi yet to score a point, but putting in impressive performances. To say they're both practically rookies, and you can see that at times in the driving. They're still putting in decent performances in an under par car at this moment. Constructor standings wise, Red Bull take the lead. Red Bull lose the lead. McLaren 101 points now on top. Red Bull in P2 and Aston Martin P3. Still 4 teams yet to score a point, but it is coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed that one. Hard to keep pace with that one, it must be said. Please do like and subscribe. I hope you're enjoying the new season, and I shall see you on the next one. Ta-ra.